Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sports Blitz here, and we're back with another Mock the Mock. Today we're mocking Broshmo's most recent NFL mock draft. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the description below, so if you're interested, make sure to check out his channel. I'm sure most of you guys probably already know who he is. So we're going to be mocking his mock today. Before we get into it, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe. We are in the final stretch to 800 subscribers, so if you could help me out and help me reach that goal, that'd be super appreciated. Also be sure to follow the Twitter. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to try not to make this too messy. I know it's a video, so we'll just have to skim through as well as we can. Alright, so with pick number 1, he decides to go with Kayvon Thibodeaux. I mean, you could argue either case for him or Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, I think it's pretty much guaranteed that the Lions will get either him or Aiden Hutchinson, so I think that's a solid pick. Makes complete sense. The Jaguars decide to go with Aiden Hutchinson. I think really the Jags, I could see the Jags taking either whichever edge rusher is available between those two, or Evan Neal. I mean, there's a bunch of different directions they could go. I mean, realistically, they could go with the other edge rusher available. They could go Evan Neal. They could go with Kyle Hamilton, Derek Stingley. There's a few different directions they'll go. I think whichever edge rusher is available is the most likely, though. So then the Texans, he has taking offensive tackle Evan Neal. Now I think that makes complete sense. In my most recent mock, I actually had Matt Corral going there just because I feel like the Texans are going to be looking to find their next franchise quarterback, and I think Matt Corral could very well be a guy they look to. Though I think it would definitely be smartest for the Texans to go with best player available, so that also makes complete sense to me. Okay, looks like we have an ad here. Let me go ahead and pause the recording. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Had to cut out any ads. I'm sure you guys don't wanna see that. So for the Jets, he is mocking Kyle Hamilton. I think that makes sense. I mean, I think right there, I think they're pretty much guaranteed to go either Kyle Hamilton or Derek Stingley. I mean, they need help at both levels. I don't think that the Jets will be getting I don't think they'll be getting Marcus May back this year. I feel like they'll lose him in free agency. So, yeah, that makes complete sense. Really, even if they do manage to re-sign Marcus May, I mean, Kyle Hamilton would be a really good safety on the other side. So, yeah, I think that's also a great pick. Then, for the first Giants pick, he has them taking Ikem Ekwonu. Another great pick. I agree with that. For me, as I've said, I think Ekwonu would be, I think in the NFL, I think he'd be an absolutely dominant offensive guard. I mean, I'm talking like Quentin Nelson type of level guard. But he can also definitely be a franchise tackle. I love how powerful he is. I mean, you put him at either guard or tackle, and he's running over his opponent. I would like to see a little bit better pass blocking by him. I think he's definitely more of a run blocking tackle, but I think that's stuff that he will be able to improve on. And really, the main concern there is just that he may get beat by like speed edge rushers. So he just needs to have better agility with sidestepping, so that the speedy rushers don't get around him to the quarterback. But again, I think that's something that he'll definitely be able to improve on, so he definitely can be a franchise tackle. The Giants' next pick, he has them taking Tyler Linderbaum. They're doubling up on offensive linemen. I'll be honest, I have Tyler Linderbaum as my best offensive lineman in the draft. He is an absolute monster. I think he can come in and honestly instantly be a top 10, maybe even top 5 center in the NFL. I mean, he's so good. I know he could probably put on another 10, 15 pounds, to be an NFL center. I think he can. I don't think it'll be an issue. But he's so good. You don't see him get blown up much. I think he's an incredible center right there. Then we have the Jets' next pick. They have from Seattle, and they are going to be taking... Oh, it's covered by his face. Derek Stingley. So, even though they didn't take Stingley earlier, they're able to take him now. So, ended up getting their other guy right there anyways. So then for the Carolina Panthers... Sorry, a lot of his picks keep getting covered by his face cam, so I'm trying to time it. All right. So for the Carolina Panthers, it looks like he is having them take... he's scrolling down, so I can't really see the pick. So I'll have to just wait and see what he does. Sorry, yeah, it's just covered by his face cam. There's not really a whole lot we can do. Looks like he had them take... I'm assuming probably Charles Cross. I know he's been having them... Yeah, Charles Cross. So, good pick. I mean, Charles Cross, I think he needs to get a more powerful anchor. I mean, I've seen him get blown up quite a bit before. I think he'll be able to improve that. Like, he's a guy that can definitely get, a little bit bigger, a little bit more powerful. Honestly, I really think he'll do that. I think he'll do really well against the speed rushers in the NFL. I don't think he gets beat very, very much. So, I think he'll be a solid tackle. Then for the Atlanta Falcons, he is having them take... Again, I didn't see because it's covered by his face cam. Looks like he is having the Falcons take... Garrett Wilson. Ooh, wide receiver from Ohio State. That's one I haven't seen before. It makes sense because we don't know the future of Calvin Ridley, if Calvin Ridley is even going to be with the Falcons anymore or even play football anymore. So that would make sense. That'll be interesting to see what happens. For me, I think it'd be smarter for them to take a guy like George Karlaftis right there, just because of how rough their defense, especially their edge rushers. They really need to generate more of a pass rush coming from that edge. So I think Karlaftis would be a better pick, but with Calvin Ridley's future being unknown, I wouldn't say that's a bad pick. So then he has the Philadelphia Eagles first pick, and he is having them take... Oh, scrolling back up here, so we might not need to... And there's another ad, so give me just a sec. Okay, that set of ads is over. But for the Eagles first pick, he's having them take George Karlaftis. That makes sense. They could definitely use some edge help. I know they've had some injuries this year with Brandon Graham. But he's it's gonna be about time to replace him anyways. Um, Looks like for their next pick, he had them take Ahmad Gardner. I love that pick. Okay, I said before, I think Darius Slay is having one of the best seasons in the NFL right now out of corners. Pairing him up with Ahmad Gardner on the other side, that's going to be a nasty cornerback duo. If they end up getting both Karlaftis and Gardner, they're going to have a really good defense. So that'll be interesting to see. Now with the Minnesota Vikings, he is having them take. Oh, missed it. He's going to have them take David Ajabo. I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of that pick. I mean, the Vikings really they've got Everson Griffin and Danielle Hunter. I know Everson Griffin's a little bit older, so you could look to replace him, but they could use some guard help. They could definitely use some cornerback help. So, I mean, I love Kyrie Lam right there, so that's definitely a possibility. They could honestly go with Nakobe Dean, but we don't know. Or I could honestly even see the possibility of them trading back. I don't feel like it'd be a huge need for them to get edge, but still a solid player. Then with the New Orleans Saints, he's having them take. Let's see. Looks like he's having the Saints take Jamison Williams. I actually really like that pick. I'm actually pretty sure I had Williams going to the Saints in my last mock draft. I know it was either him or Traylon Burks, one of the two. So yeah, great pick for them. Then he has the Raiders, and he's having them take. So having the Raiders take Traylon Burks, that makes sense. I mean, Deshaun Jackson is getting really old, and he was the replacement for Henry Ruggs with that situation. So it makes sense. It makes complete sense to me. Now he's up with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he is having them take. Looks like he's looking for an interior lineman, and he's having them take Kenyon Green. That makes complete sense. Their offensive line is really bad right now. They need some serious help, especially on the interior. So, yeah, Kenyon Green makes a lot of sense right there. Then for the Broncos, you have them take Matt Corral. I've mentioned before, I have Matt Corral and Malik Willis as kind of my QB1 A and B. It's kind of just. Matt Corral is more of a safer pick, but has still a pretty high ceiling. But then Malik Willis, not quite as polished right now, but his ceiling is insanely high. I think it's a lot like Lamar Jackson right there. Looks like for the Bengals, he just had them take Trent McDuffie. I also really like that pick. I would have honestly preferred Kyrie Lam or Roger McCreary. I have them both actually over McDuffie, but that's a solid pick. Bengals really need a corner. I think this is the right spot to do it. Though I'm a huge fan of Kyrie Lam, I would definitely think he would be a better fit for the Bengals. But here for the Cleveland Browns, he is having them take Nakobe Dean at linebacker. I mean, yeah, if he's still on the board right there, love the pick. In the mock drafts I've done so far, I've had him going to the Eagles. So I'm not sure he'll really be on the board right there, but if he is, yeah, I would love him going to the Browns. I think that's an awesome pick. Then for the Washington football team, having them take Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is my quarterback, really, that I just put behind Matt Corral and Malik Willis. I think he also has a really high upside. I'm concerned about his hand size, mostly because of guys with smaller hands in the NFL tend to have more fumbling issues. He has the third smallest set of hands since they started measuring that in, I believe it was 75. So kind of scary right there. You don't want a guy with that small of hands because of fumbling issues, but it still makes sense. He's still a talented quarterback. For the Bills, he's having them take the big boy from Georgia, Jordan Davis. The Bills' D-line could really, really use that help. They've been allowing a lot in the run game recently, and having the 6'6", 6'4", 340-pound D tackle from Georgia there, good pick. And then it looks like he just had the Eagles again right here. Looks like he's having the Eagles take Devin Lloyd from Utah. I love that pick. Sorry, I know I'm saying I love all of these picks, but I really am. Devin Lloyd is an absolute stud from Utah. I think he's a guy that can do everything at the linebacking level. I don't know what it is with linebackers named Devin and being so good, but Devin White, Devin Bush, Devin Lloyd, they're studs. I think this is going to be a great pick for the Eagles if they can get him. So yeah, I could also see earlier on, like I mentioned with the Browns taking Nakobe Dean, if the Eagles don't and decide to get Devin Lloyd instead, that's a scenario the Browns could get him. Or, even vice versa. Even if the Eagles got Nakobe Dean, the Browns could get Devin Lloyd. So, yeah, either one of those guys would be awesome for both teams. But here he has the Miami Dolphins. Let's go ahead and skip ahead a little bit. Looks like he's having them select. Having them take Drake London from USC. I believe he's a little bit bigger of a receiver. The Dolphins definitely need that. Jalen Waddle's definitely more of a speedster. So having that combination would be really, really good for Tua's development. I like the pick. Then he has the Chargers on the clock here. Let's go ahead and skip ahead. Yeah, where the audio is muted, I don't want to spend too much time just us watching him talk. He's having them take DeMarvin Leal. He's listed as an edge, but I believe he's more of a defensive tackle. Chargers need some defensive tackle help. They really do. He's getting right into the next pick with Chris Olave. I think that also makes sense to the Lions. They really need help everywhere. There's not really a spot on their roster that I'd say doesn't really need an improvement. So if you want to go best player available on the board, Chris Olave is not a bad pick. He's really not. It really, at that point, they could honestly even trade back. Then he has the Ravens taking Roger McCreary from Auburn. No, I'm not sure the Ravens really need that because, Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey, in my opinion, are still one of the best corner tandems in the NFL, if not the best. Obviously, Marcus Peters has been injured the whole season, and Marlon Humphrey recently got injured as well. I don't really feel like corner is a big need for the Ravens. I think getting one of those safeties right there would be better. I'm a big fan of Jordan Battle right there from Alabama, so that makes a lot of sense. Though if you do go with corner, out of those two, I think Kyrie Lom would definitely be the smarter pick, but that's all right. Then for the Dallas Cowboys, I feel like I already know which one he's going. They really need some more secondary help. Looks like he's looking for corner, actually. I was thinking more safety. But yeah, looks like they really need to replace Anthony Brown. He's just not having a great season. He's having them take Andrew Booth. I'm actually a really big fan of that pick. Sorry, I'll keep talking while these ads are playing. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Andrew Booth. He was actually a lot higher on my big board earlier in the season, and he really kind of just fell because of his injury. I think really, if it weren't for his injury, he could genuinely be a top 10 pick. I mean, him and Derek Stingley are like right there, neck and neck. So really, if the Cowboys can get him this late, that's an absolute steal. But then here we have the Kansas City Chiefs. I could honestly also see them taking a corner or a safety to replace Daniel Sorensen, of course. And then possibility of a receiver. So let's go ahead and wait and see who he takes. Skip ahead a little bit. Looks like he's having them take Kingsley and Enagbear. Sorry, I really have a hard time pronouncing that name. It's really rough to pronounce it, but yeah, I'm not sure I'd agree with them taking an edge right there, especially with Elam and both those safeties available. I definitely think the Chiefs would be smarter to take one of those two. So, I mean, Chiefs, yeah, they could use a little bit of edge help, but I think they need corner and safety more. Especially earlier on in the season, Daniel Sorensen was getting absolutely toasted. So they really need another safety back there to help out Tyrann Mathieu. So yeah. But here we have the Green Bay Packers on the clock, and he is having them. Looks like he's looking for a tackle. Sorry if you can hear the trucks driving by. I apologize. Yeah, it looks like he's having them look for a tackle right here. For me, so I don't know exactly if that's what he's doing, but if he's going for an offensive tackle, I really like Nick Petit-Frere. I think he's kind of the best available tackle right here. I like him more than Rayman. I'll admit, I do need to watch some more of his tape, but yeah, I'm a big fan of Petit-Frere. I know there's a lot of these guys right here that I'm terrible at pronouncing their names. Still need to learn their names a little bit better, but I've at least been studying the film. But he does have them take Trayvon Walker from Georgia. I mean, I like the pick. They could definitely use some more edge help on the other side of Zadarius Smith, so that makes sense. Not much to talk about right there. Then with the Tennessee Titans, it looks like he is going to select we'll just jump ahead. Looks like he's going to have them take Malik Willis. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me talk about this one for a minute. So like I said before, Malik Willis is kind of tied with Matt Corral's my QB 1A and B in this class. He's not polished, he's not ready or anything right now, but he has some insanely high potential, much like how Justin Fields was last year. And Lamar Jackson, really. Lamar Jackson, his rookie year, I don't know if you guys recall, his arm really wasn't that great, but he was working a lot with the coaches in the offseason, and that season ended up becoming NFL MVP. I feel like Malik Willis, if he can, fix his decision making and everything, he can be that type of guy. So I mean, give him a year or two to sit behind Ryan Tannehill till his contract is up, and Malik Willis can be an absolute star for Tennessee. So that's an interesting pick. Definitely like that pick for sure. But here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they need some secondary help, and they've got all the options in the world right here. I would probably go cornerback before I go safety, but it looks like he's going with. He's got the thing on the draft button for Kyrie Lom. He didn't click it yet. Okay, Kyrie Lom. Love that pick. That's really who I would have gone with right there. They really need some more cornerback help opposite of Carlton Davis. I mean, Carlton Davis really had a really good year in 2020. 2021, he's been injured, so we haven't seen a whole lot of him. But, in 2020, he really had a really good year. You pair him up with Kyrie Lom, that secondary gets so much better right off the bat. I know he's kind of been the main guy I've been talking about this entire video too, so yeah, that'd definitely be an interesting pick for sure. Okay, and then now here with the New England Patriots, let me skip ahead. Looks like he's having the Patriots go Arnold Pickett. Sorry, another name that I'm just not super familiar with. I haven't really watched much of his film. I don't really, as you could tell, I couldn't pronounce his name. Who knows? That might be a good pick. I feel like the Patriots could use some edge help. I was just about to say, I feel like it would have been better to go Drake Jackson right there because I have seen Drake Jackson, and I do really like him. Looks like the Cardinals went with Drake Jackson there for that final pick. So really, overall, I like the mock. I think most of these were absolute hits. I mean, you look at that first page right there. I'm not gonna look at the PFF draft grades right there. Okay, I feel like those are pretty bad grades. But you look at the actual picks there. I mean, the Lions getting Kayvon, and then the Jags getting Aiden Hutchinson, and just really cleared down the board. That's a good, those are like spot on picks. Like, I cannot disagree with any of those picks in the first 7. So I love that. Great pick great mock draft for Broshmo. Again, guys, I'll go ahead and leave a link to his channel in the description below, so make sure to check that out. Also, be sure to subscribe to me and leave a like on the video if you haven't already. We just hit 750 subscribers, so if you guys could help me reach 800 next, that'd be super helpful. But that's all I have for you guys today. See you next time. Later.